This is going to be fun. We're going to go out on the video chat, I believe, to the West Coast and join three-time Vanier Cup champion head coach Blake Nill of the UBC Thunderbirds. There he is. Hey, Blake, how are you?
Hi, Darren. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's good to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Where are we connecting with you? Are you in Vancouver?
Yeah, I'm here in Vancouver. I'm at the stadium here on the UBC campus. Come into work every morning, try to remain functional and prepare for this upcoming season.
I was going to say, or are you on some, plush Bowen Island estate like Jim Mullen is?
No, look, I'll show you something. There's
yeah, absolutely.
Vanier Cup. I'm in the office, man. Yeah,
good.
I'm in the office.
Good. It's been a while since I've been out there, so I can't wait to get back out there. Speaking of that, we were just talking about Bob Young's tweet, right? I mean, and the CFL, but I look at it, and the CFL and USPORTS are two completely different animals. Where are we at? Where are you at going into work every day, planning for a football season? I know the updated kind of schedule and plan was announced by the Canada West. Where are you at on day-to-day in your preparations for a season?
Right now, Darren, I'm preparing for, getting ready for training camp. Making sure that my athletes are here, that they're, we're going to have to jump through a few hurdles. We're going to have to make sure everyone's isolated, make sure everything is done in accordance to provincial health regulations. But we're excited, the athletes are excited, and I'm looking forward to getting back to normal and going out and competing.
What would be the biggest challenges to get you guys on the field right now? Those hurdles to get the Canada West back playing?
There's a couple, Darren. The one thing you got to remember is our athletes most of them haven't been in collision type or consistent collision type situations for up to 18 months. We know from when the NFL came back early from a strike that we're going to have young men who are susceptible to soft tissue injuries. We've got to have a prolonged sort of adaptation back into the game, so that creates a little bit of a challenge. And then of course we've got to be able to adjust to the provincial health regulations. And right now in BC, we're able to get a group of athletes on the field, in smaller groups and work on work on some levels of skill, some level of training, just to make sure that when we get the goal, that we're going to be ready to make the most of it.
Blake, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. So, one of the things that doesn't get talked about a lot, obviously, is recruiting, because people, are watching the older players, but it starts by bringing in the grade 12s or the younger kids from the high schools, and then eventually they work up the ranks. But last year there was no grade 12, right, because the kids didn't play. So what kind of challenges has that created for you? And did you find it a difficult transition, or did you already kind of know the base of the previous year's grade 11s, and it really wasn't maybe that big of a deal, or how does that all play out?
I don't think it was that big of a deal. Most university coaches recruit based on the athletic potential of the young men. And, my opinion has always been, if you're the right kind of athlete, have the right kind of academic performance, and are motivated, I can turn you into a USPORTS athlete. And so we approached it last year and this year, going out, find these athletes and look at, maybe you didn't have a lot of film to look at, but you evaluate them on other criteria, evaluate them. What the pandemic sort of initiated for us was the use of Zoom. And so it actually became easier to reach out to these kids more regularly, get to know them better, look them in the eye, and you just feel more comfortable now with that you actually know the individuals coming into your program.
Speaking of developing players, 14 players selected from the Canada West in the CFL Draft. I know something you're really proud of, and those 4 in the first round. But Craig Smith is watching and has a question about that. He says, "Hey, Blake, what can you say about the kids drafted? Cross, Alatic, and Graham." And he says, "All the best in 2021. Go T-Birds." That's from Craig Smith. So what can you say about your kids that got selected?
Well, first of all, it's great to hear from Craig. I hope everything's well. The kids we got drafted are all going to play first year. They're especially Halodic and Graham are two peas in the same pod. Both large, athletic linebackers, could play down on the line of scrimmage, I guess, if you wanted them to, but will fulfill every special team role that a CFL program wants them to. The kid out of Saskatchewan, Cross, is perhaps top 5 that I've ever coached. He brings incredible instinct, incredible passion in every aspect of his preparation, in terms of his training, his preparation in the film room, his understanding of the game plan. And then once he's on the field, you're hard pressed to keep up with his effort. And so when Hamilton drafted him, I sent a message right away to Spencer Bohm, who played for me at Calgary and who's part of their personnel. And I just said, "You just got a top 5 guy of mine all time," and they were ecstatic. And I can also remember during the winter discussions talking to my buddy Kyle in Winnipeg, and he goes, do you think he's going to slide under the radar a bit?" And I'm going, "Kyle, he's not going to be available second round." And when he went the last pick of the first round, I sort of smiled and thought about my buddy Kyle Walter, but he got his share of talent too. So I'm very excited for Nick Cross. I think he's just going to be a superior football player and is a superior young man.
I only got a couple more for you, but on that, how much are you following or treating these players who have been drafted? If the CFL doesn't play this season, the assumption is they'll all come back and have another year with the Thunderbirds. Is that right?
Yeah, that could happen. My philosophy, Darren, is always prepare for worst case scenarios. So, I'm preparing that they're not going to be back in our program. And to be honest, I hope we all want to see the CFL land on its feet and have a big year. And I just, think it's important that we get that league going and support it any way we can. And so I'm really hoping that there's a CFL season come this fall, which I'm confident there will be.
I don't know that we have enough time to get into this, Blake, because we only have a couple of minutes left. But, with the XFL talk, and I'm sure you've heard it, and we've talked about it on this show, and, the CFL going into that talk, and everybody's scared of, going to 4 downs or changing the Canadian game. I mean, outside of UBC, there's a lot of 4-down football in BC. I mean, concisely, can what would the changes, or what does this kind of shifting landscape do for grassroots football in this country?
I haven't thought about it a lot, but here's something I'll tell you, Darren. About 10 years ago, when I was at Calgary, after practice one day, John Ferzani used to sit in the end zone and watch us practice, and his son played for me with the Dinos. Came up to me and he goes, Blake, I could make a lot of money with you Canadian kids. And that made me smile, because John recognized the talent level of Canada West football and of Canadian university athletes. And I really think that our game has grown substantially during my career. the athletes are 3 and 4 times the caliber that they were 25 years ago. And so I hope that we hold fast, that we recognize that Canadian football has a place in our history and in our country. And I know all of my colleagues at the university level we just keep getting better. And there's no better example than those 6 teams that play Canada West football. And I'm hoping that they stick to the 3-down game and we continue to move in that direction.
I was going to ask you how your Zoom skills are during the pandemic, because you're doing all these Zoom calls with your players. But you're nailing this. This is great. You're a natural on the video calls. But just before we'll let you go here, a couple of comments rolling in from a couple of people you might know. Monty Klassen, he was the equipment and water and kind of an extra hand with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. He says hi. He says, hi, Mr. Nill. Really nice to see you. And Anthony Woodson's watching the show this morning. He says, interviewing the GOAT with the high five emoji. Great coach, great mentor. So Anthony's watching this morning.
Well, tell Monty I said hi, man. And I was on the phone with Woodson the other day. Anthony Woodson is a huge advocate of the game of football. His entire family is. And he's doing everything he can to build it in the city of Calgary. I have nothing but time for the Woodson family, and he helped me win a lot of big games, and I'm wishing him all the success as he moves forward in his life. And he's going to be a new father here in a couple weeks, I think.
Congratulations, Anthony. That's great. Yeah. Blake, real treat catching up. I know for Jim, he's invited us out to the coast when the pandemic ends. We might do the show right from his deck on the island. So if that happens, we'll put you on a ferry and bring you out, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Darren, thank you very much. Good luck with everything, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You bet. Sounds great. Blake Nill joining us on the video chat from UBC.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.